He's Bob Stoops, Oklahoma head coach, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Everybody loves the backup quarterback, right, Coach?
Absolutely. That's the best position in pro football.
It's amazing, though. But why is that?
Well, because he hasn't been out there to make a mistake, enough sometimes, and and people always have that feeling that he won't make one, if he hasn't been out there to make one already.
Yeah, it's the unknown, and it seems like we love the unknown. You played defensive back in college. Could you play defensive back now, just with the rules in the NFL?
Oh, I couldn't. I couldn't then, and I could now. I didn't.
Well, I'm not. I'm just talking about.
I wasn't built for it, but.
But theory-wise, though, with the rules the way they are in the NFL, I don't know how people play defense anymore in the NFL.
I totally agree with you. I think they've gone a little bit overboard, not being able to touch anybody. I mean, I'd throw the ball. I'd throw the ball deep 6 times a game just to get an interference call or. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's really tough, on the defensive backs and defensive coaches with the way the rules are structured. Are
you seeing that, though, in college football?
No, in college we're allowed to jam people, use our hands past 5 yards. So that, to me, that's the biggest thing. If somebody's in front of you, you ought to be able to defend yourself or use your hands to protect yourself. And that part of it I just don't really get. But and then downfield, the pass interference either way is really pretty legit on each side, whether it's defense or offense.
But don't you think it's more about fantasy football and that they want offense in the NFL?
I've never thought of it that way because I don't really understand or haven't paid attention to the fantasy land because I play in the real world. So that could be, that now that you say that, and it's become so popular. Heck, even people are betting on it. I understand.
Yeah.
So I don't. That probably is something that has a little bit to do with it.
Do you talk to your players? Is this a teaching moment with what's going on in the NFL with these different stories with Peterson and Rice and Greg Hardy?
We talk a lot every year. Even before these, we've always had different kind of mini seminars with people coming in or us talking about issues. So, sure, at different times we do.
But you got to – what if a player breaks a rule and he lies to you? Like, what's worse?
That's a problem. I tell them the lie is a lot of times worse than what you did. To always own up to it, and then you will decide what's what. But it is wrong. I mean that does multiply the whatever wrong you did.
He's Bob Stoops, Oklahoma head coach. Got West Virginia coming up next game. Win over Tennessee. When you recruited Adrian Peterson, what kind of background did he have? Family life did he have?
He was with his mother and stepdad, and and I went to visit his father, Nelson, at the time. So they looked after him, and
was his dad in jail?
Strong family around him.
Was his dad in jail at the time?
Yes, he was at the time. Yes.
Did you see any warning signs? Any concerns about Adrian?
Not at all. Adrian was a model young guy here, a joy to coach every day, great person in every aspect of his life here. While the 3 years he was with us, never had an issue with them off the field whatsoever. And so this is, he couldn't have been better.
Oh, well, how tough is it to hear what's being said about him now?
Really difficult, and I don't know enough about it to really have to say anymore. But I'm praying for his family, for his children, and him.
Have you reached out to him?
I haven't yet. I figured there's probably too many people right now, and I'll wait a little while before I try and reach him.
Because it's hard to understand. It's hard to process this. You're a father that you're trying to understand. I don't know how you were disciplined growing up. I mentioned that, my dad wasn't afraid to discipline us. Was it that way in your family?
Absolutely.
But did that change your parenting? Or do you?
I'd rather, Dan. Everybody's different. This is a different situation for everybody. Everybody grew up differently. Everybody. Disciplines in different ways. So it's So yeah, I'm sure I'm different, but again, I don't know how to speak about it, to be honest with you.
The win over Tennessee, you're at West Virginia, and a West Virginia alum on our staff says you better watch out for the Mountaineers. So not that you weren't already.
That's no big surprise to us.
Yeah. So Seton, are you saying that West Virginia will beat Oklahoma here?
I'm just saying I don't think Coach Stoops has really an answer for Kevin White. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay. Well, he's a great player. And he and Clint Trickett, I'm with you. They're really, really good players. We know that. We see film. We see a lot more than you do. So
the toughest atmosphere to go into, the loudest, most distracting is where?
I don't know where that would be. When you've been on the road as much as we have for 16 years, we've been in about all of them. So, you just focus on what you've got to do, and you block it out and don't worry about it. And I always tell the players, when you play well, it's amazing how no matter where you're at, they're not quite as loud.
Give me the town where you could walk around in.
Norman, Oklahoma.
Aside from there.
About anywhere. Chicago, my favorite town. I love Chicago. So.
What about Big 12? You're going to walk around in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, they're not with us anymore. But let's see, a town I could walk around in.
How about Waco?
Yeah, that'd be tough. People still kind of they still recognize you. So.
Well, good luck. Facing West Virginia.
It'll be a good challenge. No question. They're a very good team, so we're looking forward to the challenge of it. Thanks, Dan.
All right, Coach. It's Bob Stoops.